All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to a new day, a new week, a new live stream. If you're here for the first time, welcome. Really pumped that you're here, and we're going to be having a good time navigating you through the wild world of day trading futures. So I'm going to be talking about all different kinds of stuff. We're going to be talking about ICT concept, fair value gap, breakers, inversions. We're going to be talking about the model. The hourly reversal model, which we are currently in a trade in, and we'll get into that here shortly. I've taken profit once, and we'll see if we get stopped out here. But we'll be going over that. But it's going to be a good day. But before we do, let's go ahead and open in prayer, and then we will get started. Father, we honor you. We thank you for your faithfulness. Thank you for your goodness. Thank you for a new day, a new week. Thank you, Father, for your kindness towards us. Lord, we just pray that everyone here would have increase in their trading, increase in their personal walk with you. Father, I pray for a blessing and increase over their lives. In Jesus' mighty name, amen. And lastly, if you're looking to take your trading to the next level, you can do so by using the code DTJ. If you use the code DTJ, you will get anywhere from 30 to 80% off your next evaluation account. Currently, Apex is doing a 80% off sale on their Apex accounts, and so you can check that out by using the code DTJ. All of those accounts there I use for different reasons. Apex is for newer traders. TPT is for a little more established traders that know that they can pass an eval account, and Tradify is there specifically for those that want to skip the evaluation process and you want to go straight to a funded account. So check those out. And it looks like I'm going to be stopped out here. I'll pull up my screen. Oops. Is it not there? Let's see if it pops up. There it is. I've already taken profit once on this move lower. Wanted to see if we can get a continuation here lower. So I'm in there for one final contract. We'll see if it wants to sell off here. I think we may get a little bit of a sell-off at open. We'll see what happens. Either way, I'm fine with being stopped out there. I made some profits on that. I'll show you the reason why we got into that trade in the first place. If we check on the screen here, if we jump to the hourly, we have a sweep of liquidity on this candle right here, the 7 a.m. candle. That 7 a.m. candle wicked higher and then closed lower. So at the 8 o'clock candle, we look for a 5-minute entry. I wasn't able to get the 5-minute entry, but we'll take a look at the 5 minutes. So there's the 5-minute entry after 8 o'clock, and you can see the sell-off beginning there. So if we go down to the 1-minute time frame, you can see the sell-off right here, and I took a short at this breaker. And that is where I took my entry. So it was based off the 30-minute model or the hourly reversal model. We came up into that level here. We began to sell off. I marked out this breaker, looked for it to come up to it. I'm going to get stopped out here, aren't I? It came up into that level, and then we sold off right here. So, and in it for one final contract to see if we can get a continuation lower. It's not looking that way. There we are. All right, stopped out. Stopped out in profit. I wanted to move my stop loss to a particular spot where I thought that it may not want to reach for, but it ended up reaching for it. So let's go ahead and jump to a higher time frame, and let's talk about what the market is doing, because we have some news with China. As you can see, we have a lot going on. We've just exploded higher. We opened higher, and then this morning in Switzerland, when they were doing they were having a press briefing, and once they announced that they're putting a 90-day pause on all the tariffs between China and the U.S., the market just exploded higher. So what does that mean? Where are we going to go? Well, obviously we are bullish. We are bullish. Could we see a retracement? Absolutely. But I had this daily breaker marked out here. Okay, look at that daily breaker. You can see the daily breaker right there. We got a high, low, higher high. We broke lower. And we now just came back up to that breaker right there. This low, coincidentally, is actually 20,991.75. And our high this morning is 91.5. So it actually came up one tick short of hitting this to the tick, hitting that level to the tick. And we began to roll over and basically range back and forth from there. You can see right here. This is where we opened. We got our news. Boom, retracement, hit that breaker, and we've been kind of consolidating here. I think we honestly could retrace. We could retrace down to this fair value gap somewhere here. If we don't want to retrace down to that, we will retrace down to, let's go back to the hourly here. No, I don't like the hourly. I like the 15-minute better. We will retrace. Let's go to the 30-minute. We will retrace down to this 30-minute. So that's kind of what I'm looking at, is it retracing here. Also, I mean, we got multiple equal lows, and that's why I was looking for that. When I saw that reversal, I took that short, hoping that we we're going to get down into here. But I got stopped out on one of my contracts. So we're going to see if we got any opportunities coming up this morning. Let's go ahead and say hi. Byron, good morning. Ted, Matthew, Wilhelm, Jess, Tab, MR, Mo, good morning. How are you guys doing? How you doing? Who else is on here? That's about, well, there's more here, but Michael, good morning. Esteban, Shaw, Brick, Wendy, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Ecclesia? Ecclesia? And hopefully I'm saying that right. Adelson, Sylvia, good morning. Knights, good morning. Phoenix, Arizona. All right, so we got, let's go ahead and mark our levels out. I'm with the news. It's hard for me to want to go short. I'm not going to do anything for 9:30. I'm not going to do anything for the 9:30 model here this morning. We're going to let the market work itself out here a little bit before we do anything. But let's go ahead and mark our levels. All right, so we got our close and our open. And that is our new week opening gap. We'll mark those out there. And go ahead and put our key level, or put our dates on there. 5/12. 5/12. All right, I think I'm going to remove this. It's 5/5. That was just last week. We better leave that. But I'm going to change the color of it to be gray, so I don't get them confused. On the daily, I have our daily high and low marked out. We have our midpoint. Okay, this is the midpoint of Friday's range. So that is an interest level. When we start seeing a bearish momentum, we could use that as a point of interest. But right now we don't have that. If we jump to the weekly, we also marked our weekly high and weekly low. Okay, we have our midpoint for the Friday's range right there. And going back to the daily, if we want to reach any higher, potentially we could reach for this volume imbalance sitting right here. Is it on the weekly or monthly? It's a 4-hour volume imbalance. So this 4-hour volume imbalance right here I have marked out. It's sitting right above this daily breaker. So if we want to go higher, I need to have a higher target. So I have our volume imbalance on the 4-hour, and then I have March 3rd highs as our two bullish biases or bullish key levels. As far as a bearish key level, I really don't have one because the only thing that we really could mark as a bearish key level is that 30-minute fair value gap right below all these swing lows. So if we get a setup to the downside, I'm not afraid to take it. It just needs to be clean. And honestly, the market has been very clean right now. I'm expecting it to get a lot of chop right at the open. So we're going to sit on our hands. We're not going to do anything, okay? We're going to, well, Tony, to be honest, the market was super clean pre-market. It was super clean. It respected levels. It retested levels. It swept levels. It had reversals. It came up. I mean, this was all beautiful price action. I'm expecting it now with all the volatility that's going to open up here in 2 minutes. I'm expecting it to be choppy. So I'm not going to take anything for the first 15 minutes. I'm not going to do 930 either, even though there's a good probability we sell off of 930. I'm not going to take it. Honestly, I really would love to be able to grab all of this. That just looks really, really nice to be able to grab. But I feel like I would be somewhat gambling by taking that. We are respecting this breaker. With the news, yeah, that's the thing. It's just with the news and everything, I don't think I really want to take it. I'm not opposed to it. I mean, it even looks good right now. That's the thing. It all looks good. I'm going to take one contract. Let's just see what a tiny contract and see what happens here. Well, it filled me. Yep. That's the thing. When everything says to take it, you should just take it. Even though you're worried about the volatility, man. We took the trade and it worked out. You just follow the rules. I'm telling you. All right, it's selling. I mean, there it is. Watch, we're going to hit the 30-minute. We're going to hit this 30-minute fair value gap. All right, that's where I think we now start seeing some chop. What's up, Pablo? How you doing? You took 2 micros, Ted? Honestly, it wasn't a bad, it looked good. It was right at the breaker. It met all the 930 model criteria. And boom. We could continue to get a sell-off here down to this level. We'll see if that wants to happen. I'm not sure. This is what I wanted to happen when I was in this trade here, but it obviously just waited for 930. And I got stopped out in the process. So that's okay. John, good morning. Yasmina, good morning. Thank you for asking. I'm very new to all of this, but definitely here to build generational wealth for my children. All right, Jess, then commit to the process. Commit to the journey because it's going to take time, but it's totally doable. All right, so it looks like we might run all the way down here. I mean, we're getting some full-bodied candles here. Let's see if it wants to run here. Keep running. Hey, Pablo. We'll answer that here in a second. I want to see if we're going to run to this. Judah, go ahead, eat lunch, and then once I'm done, I'll take you to school. Okay? Be exalted now in the heavens. You think it's going to run through it or respect it and move lower? I mean, I think it could move lower. 779? Yeah, you can't do there. Nice first presented fair value gap right here. Lee, good morning. Who asked me that? Okay. Who asked me? Tesla up 23 pre-market. Yeah, my Tesla stock's looking great today. Flipping to green after today. Took 2 micros for that. Pablo, what's up? Great, but nervous. I don't feel confident today. Then you sit on your hands. Don't take any trades. If you're not feeling confident, don't take trades. Judah swing, good morning. Yeah, this is for sure a Judah swing in my opinion. It's rebalancing, but how low could it go? We could see this sell. It could go all the way down here. It could absolutely go all the way down here. I haven't even done my affirmation for today because I've been so engulfed in the news and what happened. Pablo, how can you learn the strategy and how you trade? You can go to DTJ Academy. And if you want to be a part of our community there, we are growing faster. We have more people joining every week. And my heart is that builds to a point where people are helping other people in a way that's really impactful. So I'm really excited about where that's going to go. But with that comes the Discord and like 50 plus videos that explain how I read price action, all of that. And I'm gonna read some of that here today. But if you want it in a tutorial type setting, concept by concept, you can check that out there. So even though we are, because we are moving lower, I'm not as interested in going lower because of the news. But I mean, it could say hey, let's just retrace all the way down here. Let's hit our new week opening gap, and then we could go higher from there. That's a real possibility. So for me to go short, I'm going to need to see some type of inversion, some type of breaker, something that goes like this, and then take the trade right there. Or some trade like this, and we see an inversion right there. It doesn't matter, but I need to see some type of retracement to be able to take the shot lower. If I'm open to taking trades like this. I'm modifying some of my rules to allow some of this if we're in the middle of a move. So if I was going to take this, if it was within my time to take a trade, I would consider taking that right there. But if we're already down here, I don't know if I'm going to do that because I want to get it at the inception of the move, not the potential terminus of the move. But all of that is subjective. I mean, we could say, oh, we're really in discount right now. Really? Well, it could keep going all the way down here. It's all subjective. So I don't want to look at the market in that way. I want to look at it in the form of running key levels. Now, we just ran that low, and this is where I think we may get some support and maybe move higher. So this could be that potential area if it wants to do it. What platform do I trade? So the white here, what you see here is TradingView. I have a link in TradingView if you want to check that out. And you get, I think, like $15 off or something like that. And then where I do my executions, on this screen right there, which is the black screen. That is TradingView. That is that is my broker. I do my executions on there. I like this little feature, the ATM feature, where I can set bracket orders based on what I want my stop loss size to be. And I can just quickly select that based on the risk that I'm seeing or how much risk I want to take. I can just select that real quick, and then I can put my entry in there. So I do that on TradingView. So price has been respecting every single up closed candle, and here would be another potential one right here. I doubt it. I would say I want to see this one break because we just hit our last point of support before the big candle over here. Before we start seeing that candle right there, we got this news candle at 3 a.m. So we probably should break this candle into quadrants. There we go. All right, so we did run above this. It could go all the way up to this order block here, so we'll see how it wants to play out. Lee, as your glory fills this place, you alone deserve. Yeah, I was singing that this morning, wasn't I? Pablo, thanks for the info. I'll look into it. We have to pay something about your academy. Yes, there is a cost to that. It's a one-time cost. I don't do any subscriptions. So that gives access to all the content that I created, 50 videos, and to be a part of the DTJ community and Discord where you can ask me questions at any time. If you want me to review anything. All right, so the market's still selling off here. You could, if you want, you could take any of these fair value gaps that we retrace into and take one of those trades that I mentioned. I don't have a green light to trade yet. I'm waiting. I'm following my rules. My rules of not taking any trades before 9:15 or 9:45. And here's our first fair value gap. This is the 3 a.m. fair value gap. So we'll see how that wants to respond from there. Ninja Trader, Trade-of-8 and Ninja Trader are owned by the same. Ninja Trader owns Trade-of-8, so I use Trade-of-8, but I don't trade on Ninja Trader. Yeah, I know that. I kind of do you guys want it to be white? Would you prefer it to be white on white or white on black so you know that screen's up? I don't care. T, if you go over to this is the GAN box. If you just select the GAN box, drop something, and then you can select your settings right here. And my settings are 0, 1, 0.25, 0.5, and 0.75. And I set them as black. So those are those levels right there. Did Jesus ask for any money for the contents he brought to the world? I'm not asking for your money. Black on white, it doesn't matter. No, everything I'm giving here is free. If you want to join the community, you're welcome to pay something, but you don't need to. In fact, if you're asking that and that's your perspective on it, I don't want you to join. Because that's not how it works. So I like the idea of us coming into the 3 a.m. fair value gap, which is here. I'll highlight that. I think that would be a little bit better if I highlight that. All right, so that is the 1 minute fair value gap. So you can see those levels there. All right, I got the green light to trade here. Hang on, let me remove that. So once we get a setup I like, I will take a trade and we'll do it on screen. Hit the like button if you want to see an on-screen trade. Hit the like button. Equal highs, I might ride if we get a good breaker going short. I'd like to go short, but we need to see what the market wants to do. We're probably going to wait till 10 o'clock. I think I want to see if we're going to get a continuation or a reversal at 10. And I'm getting I'm doing our daily affirmation. I forgot to do the daily affirmation, so we're going to do that here. If 10 a.m. candle puts in the low, I have seen that be a great signature to turn. Yes, if the 10 a.m. candle makes the low, I love when I see that. I really do. I would agree with you on that, Ted. Hey, Quantum, that'll be the last one. If we can't just participate nicely in the Discord or on the chat, then I really don't want the going back and forth. So that's the last shot before we'll mute you, okay? This is going to be a positive environment. Not accusatory. It's going to be uplifting and encouraging here. Let's jump out. Let's look at the hourly. Let's see where in 10 minutes the market's gonna in 10 minutes the hourly candle and the 4 hour is gonna close. Well, we know the 4 hour is gonna be green. The 4 hour candle, oh, I guess not. The 4 hour candle looks to be a potential reversal, just like the hourly was. If the 4 hour candle closes like this, then we could look for a 15-minute retracement. If we get a 15-minute retracement here, boom, this could be a place for us to go short. So even though this is really hard to consider, but we already went bullish before the news happened. The news happened and it just exasperated that. I really think it may want to move lower, and I'm not opposed to trying to take that lower move. So in 10 minutes, we're going to get a 15-minute fair value gap somewhere like this, okay? Let's just assume this is the 15-minute fair value gap, okay? When the 4 hour model waits for the 4 hour candle to close, which is doing it in 9 minutes, and then you go short when you come up into the 15-minute fair value gap. Now the problem with that right here is it is 100 points. Well, you're not going to go short right here and be in drawdown by 100 points and then find out you're wrong at 150 points. So you don't want to do that. So what we're looking for is a retracement to a key level, i.e. probably somewhere around here, and then we look to see if the market wants to roll over. That's option one. Option two is we could actually play the retracement higher, which is not a bad play, at all. You just got to be very careful, because if the market really is going to be heavy, which we have this candle as evidence that it's pretty heavy, we could not retrace as far as we want, and we could get stopped out pretty easily. So that's how I'm kind of looking at this and trying to figure out how we want to handle it. I'm going to mark up ES real quick to put in our highs and our lows, our daily highs and our daily lows. And I'm really liking the way we're structuring ourselves here. So we have a bullish breaker. Ted maybe mentioned this, but we got a bullish breaker right here that does not look bad. Do we got a 5-minute change in state? We won't have a 5-minute change in state of delivery. That's the hard part. We have zero. We have no, because this, all of this is would need to be, to know that we're going to move higher, we would need to close above all of this. So let's mark our high from here to our low, and let's find out where our equilibrium is. All right, here's equilibrium as well. So see that red line? That red line is our equilibrium for this price move lower. So once we hit this level here and this first presented fair value gap, we're already here that I'm not interested in taking a long unless we're really bullish. So the retracement long is gone. In my mind, it's gone. Only way I would consider taking that is if right here we retrace and then we move higher. But if we're going to be up here, I'm not interested in taking that retracement long. Now, if we get a reversal long, that trade is going to happen most likely when we close above this fair value gap. That's the only way I'm going to take a long if we go past this level. We're watching equilibrium right now. Does price want to respect equilibrium? Does price want to respect this first presented fair value gap? What does price want to do? If price is going to respect it, then we could potentially look for our breaker to the downside. We could look for a move lower. And we could target this 30-minute fair, or the 3 a.m. fair value gap. That's a big fair value gap. It's going to want to hit that. I don't know when. But that would be the low-hanging fruit objective if price wants to stay beneath our equilibrium level, which is the midpoint of this price range, of this price leg. And so far, heck of a reaction. That's the first thing that I notice, is quite a bit of a reaction once we got up to that level and the first presented fair value gap. Okay? It's also the 30-minute fair value gap. The 30-minute, which is right there. So if we close below this in the next 4 minutes, and the hourly is in there, yeah, I think if I'm interested in something, I think I'm interested in going short. If we get zero retracements, our short is right here. Okay? That's our short. This also could be a retrace. If we get a retracement into here, that could also be our short. This is also a breaker, so pay attention to this. 6 minutes, I'm waiting. I'm going to wait till 10 o'clock. I just want to confirm that we really are going short. I don't want to go. I said I would prefer to go short, so this breaker, I want to see it broken through. Keep in mind, we could close below here and then retrace higher to this. So there's a few different things that it could happen. This looks real nice. I mean, how that candle's been respecting 3 candles in a row, that's like almost a guaranteed long. It looks really nice. I feel like shorts are feeling the most pain right now. Hard day to short when shorts are stuck. Yeah. I mean, 100% agree. I don't know why I'm saving that. There we go. No, I don't think so, Barry. I'm waiting for the new candle. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm not waiting for news. I'm waiting for a new candle. All right, so here is the new candle. We got this hourly candle right here, and then we have also the 4-hour candle right here. So we have a 4-hour fair value gap sitting right here that price could reach down into. So that low, this candle's low, is 746.50. So 746.50 is this candle's low. Oh, what the heck is that? I'm missing a whole candle here. We didn't close below that fair value gap yet. I wouldn't be opposed to price coming up into, I'm putting this on my screen because it's not on my other one. I wouldn't be opposed to it coming up to here first. I love the violation of this breaker, so we can get rid of that breaker. I'm not looking at that going long. I don't want it to go long. We'll look at the 2-minute because I got a 2-minute candle at least. There's the 15-minute fair value gap. So from a 4-hour perspective, this is the 15-minute fair value gap we want price to come back up into. Okay, so 4-hour candle. We have a sweep of liquidity closing back inside the range. When we see this, based on it hitting a key level, daily breaker, we drop down to the 15-minute chart and we look for a 15-minute fair value gap for price to come back up into. That's this one right here. We are now, that is a 50-point fair value gap. Okay? So price coming back into this level and then selling off is now my plan. I think that I want that to be my plan. I would prefer that. And you know what? I've been trying to be extra patient and not take unnecessary trades. That is going to be my plan. I don't think I'm going to take this 1 minute if it sells off right here. I don't want to get slapped in the face. And I would prefer a bigger retracement here than giving the sell-off. I know I don't like that idea considering we're in the 10 a.m. macro, but we may consolidate for another hour. We may range for another hour before we actually see that trade play out. And if you've been with me for any amount of time, you know that sometimes we'll try to take the 10 a.m. short and it stops us out and it consolidates. And then we get the 11 a.m. short. So that's a real possibility. But it's framed out based on us coming up into this 15-minute time frame. That's what I want to see happen. If it doesn't happen for me, then it means I don't get to trade it. And I really do like that it's respected this level so far. That makes it easier for me to say, okay, let's wait. Do you know what I mean? When it's respecting your levels. Why did I pick this fair value gap? Who can tell me why I picked that fair value gap? Why did I say this was our short? If we go below it, we could run down to these levels. Who can tell me why I picked that one? Come on, you're here to learn, right? Not just for me to tell you what I'm doing. So put in the comments what you think. Take a stab at it. And I'm going to use the restroom. I'll be right back. Did anybody give me an answer? Anybody say anything? Come on. Yes, it's an imbalance, Byron, but why? Why this imbalance? Okay, so one of the rules for liquidity is if price moves for only two reasons, it's imbalances and liquidity. When we look at this price leg from here, when we look at this price leg from here to up here, okay? When we look at this price leg from this low to this high, these are our liquidity points. Liquidity point number 1, number 2, number 3. This is our premium liquidity point. These are our discount, or our discount. I take that back. These are our discount liquidity points, and this is our premium liquidity point. Okay. Also, so it's running to either grab these, or it's running to fill these. There's 4 here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are all fair value gaps. Those are imbalances. The actual name for this is a BISI, or buy side imbalance, meaning we have buy side candle, but sell side inefficient, meaning sell side has not delivered in it. So this is an imbalance. So if price is going to run, it's running to either grab this liquidity or fill this imbalance, right? So price filled this imbalance on this candle right here. It's not showing up on my chart. Let's go down to the 30-second. It should show up there. So this price leg came up to do what? It was either going to fill this imbalance, or the only other option is run liquidity up here. Those are the only two options why price moves. It's either going to fill the imbalance, or it's going to run the liquidity. I'm not going long. I'm not going long, Steve. Doesn't make sense to go long right now. I mean, I do want it to come up to this 15-minute fair value gap. So when we look at this 1-minute fair value gap right here, it was the last imbalance before the swing low. So either it was going to stop here or run here. So since it stopped here, what did it not do? It did not run here. So when we violate these levels, that's why I go short. I go short when there's a violation of the imbalance, because that means it wasn't here to fill the imbalance. It's coming down here to run the liquidity. Now, does it happen every time? No. But as a point of interest when I'm taking a trade, that's how I view it. I'm not going to go long in any of this. This is, to me, consolidation. To me, this is potential fake out area. If it was going to run, it would have ran right around 9 o'clock. Excuse me, 10 o'clock. But it didn't. It's not. It's consolidating. So here's my expectation. My expectation is we come down and we're going to do this. And then we're going to hit this fair value gap. And once we hit this fair value gap, now it has my attention. What are we going to do? Are we going to keep moving higher and run through it? Or are we going to hit it and start getting displacement lower where I can take an entry at a breaker or an inversion and it runs lower? That's how I'm viewing it. And if it doesn't get up to here and it rolls over, it's going to go without me, because I need it to retrace to a key level or to a key imbalance in this case to give me the confidence that, okay, it's not going to be a fake out run. If we get a run right here, I'm going to view it as a fake out. I could be wrong, but I've been burned too many times to think otherwise. And honestly, you have to, the way the market moves is this huge range of options on how it does. I want to trade that much of it because I can predict only really about that much of it. So I'm not going to trade every candle, every bit of price action, every move, oh, it's going to go long, you should get in long right now. Maybe your model, which is a very small part of it, of the whole range of how price moves, maybe that's part of your model. Well, my model that I look at right here says I need to wait for the 15-minute fair value gap, because I know when we hit those types of levels, I have more confidence in taking a trade. We're also watching ES right here, and I have ES marked up for its 15-minute fair value gap as well. And maybe it's just going to blow right through that 15-minute fair value gap and go higher. But guess what? We just talked about it. If the candles, if a 15-minute candle closes above that 15-minute fair value gap, what does that tell us? It means it's violating that imbalance. And what is it going to most likely run for? We just talked about it. It means it's most likely going to run for liquidity. Look right here. Here's our 15-minute fair value gap. If we close above this, I can confidently say, guys, we're bullish, we're going to go long, and guess how much room we still have? My goal would be to get to this 4-hour imbalance. And that right there is 125 handles. I don't need to take a long right here. I don't need to. Now, some people might think, hey, this was the manipulation leg, and rightfully so. It totally could be that. This was the manipulation leg. Now we're going to get our expansion. That could be. Absolutely. That's why I'm going to be very careful and look for confirmation that we're going to displace lower. Well, that's good to know, Cristiano. Cristiano? Maria, I'm glad it was helpful. Yes, you gotta narrow down what you take, because if you don't, you're literally going to blow yourself up. Figuratively speaking. Factually speaking for your account. What's up, Patrick? Yeah, we got equal highs for that 15-minute fair value gap. First presented fair value gap sitting right here. I'm going to get rid of that 30-minute. That's bothering me. But we're outside of the macro right now, so honestly, I haven't seen a move yet that's been very clear and obvious. So I'm fine sitting on my hands. Yeah, 50. I have the 50% level right here. Right there. So that's what I'm saying. We could absolutely see a push into this. Let's see if it respects that first presented fair value gap. And then if it wants to move lower, we got liquidity points right here. We got the 3 a.m. fair value gap down here. Or it could just go bullish, and then we would be looking for it to violate this fair value gap. And we could potentially take the breaker here, the low, high, lower, low, break up, and take a long at this breaker right here. Could be something like that. And Ted, if you're getting SMTs every time, then that's a sign that we just need to sit out and wait. So ES has hit the 15-minute fair value gap. NQ has not yet. Pretty close. Patrick, that was because of the news this morning from Trump, not Trump speaking, but the Trump administration, that China is putting a 90-day, both China and U.S. are putting a 90-day pause on all the tariffs. They're going to reduce their tariffs from 145 down to 10. So basically that trade embargo is a big deal. Trump speaking right now. Yes, it could take the market up, Pablo, but everybody thinks the market's going to go up. So what does the market do? And you got to remember, we're already up. Look where we closed yesterday. Our high, we closed here yesterday. So we closed yesterday's price at 20,146. We're at 20,800. We're 700 points higher. We already took the market up. Do you see what I'm saying? The market already went up based on the news. So we could see a retracement and then still over the next week see higher prices. I really don't want to take a short now. I'm not going to do anything with here. We're at 1020. Maria, I'm live 5 days a week. What's up, Tab? All right, my friend. Have a blessed day. So why did I mark this out? Because it's the last fair value gap before this swing low right here. So it's not a bad trade. I just don't like that we made equal highs and we didn't tag the 15-minute. That is why I don't like taking this and why I won't take this trade. We didn't technically grab that liquidity. We made equal points, and I've seen these trades work out before, but I've also been burned. So I will pass. Let's see if it runs for this liquidity point. So this would technically, if you were taking this trade, that would be your entry point. Your target would be that low. Your close the trade would be at closing above that fair value gap. What's up, Brian? I did. I did catch that. I was out there, so that's one of our family's lakes, and so it's not fished very often. We went out there on Wednesday, me and the boys. My son caught 25 fish. Jaden caught 24 fish. Benjamin caught like a dozen. I caught a dozen. My dad caught a dozen. It was so much fun. It was so much fun. I mean, my oldest, Judah, we got there. He literally jumps out of the car, puts it in the water. 6 seconds later, he gets his first fish, and it was like 13, 14-inch crappie. It was a blast. Okay, so look at this. Do you see what I said? It didn't close. And the reason why I didn't take that trade and I didn't want to take that trade is because we didn't run the liquidity up here. Right there. We didn't run it. So while it could have worked out, I'm saying, nope, I want it to hit this 15-minute fair value gap and sweep that liquidity before I consider taking a short like this. Because everything else equal, this is a beautiful entry. That inversion to the downside to that level would have been beautiful. But we didn't grab the liquidity here and didn't hit the 15-minute fair value gap. And I didn't like the time. What time was that? 10:21. I didn't like the time either. I prefer to take the trades in the last 15 minutes and the first 15 minutes of the hour. Just a higher probability of the trade playing out. Game Changers, what's up, my friend? Welcome. Glad you're here. I'm going to butcher this name. I am so sorry. Uchaya? I'm glad you're here as well. All right, let's see what happens, Byron. Let's see if it does it. Waiting for the market structure shift to the downside or upside. I know you all want to go long. I just don't think we're going long, guys. I wish I could say we're going long. The more people in the chat that say they want to go long, the more I think we're going short. I would prefer the deeper retracement. I'm not going short unless we hit this 15-minute fair value gap. And it may not give it to me, so I may not take that trade. And I will be proud of myself for not taking a trade because that's what trading requires, discipline. There's that initial first fair value gap that I mentioned. If we close below this, these are in sight. That's more attractive now. I'm not taking it because we didn't hit the 15-minute fair value gap. That is the only reason I'm not taking this trade. Everything else looks really good. You could wait for it to come back up to that level, which is a breaker to the downside. It was touched on ES. I understand that. I wanted it to touch on NQ. And I know that's an SMT and I could take a short. but I kind of already made up my mind. Here's the trade idea right here. And you're not wrong for taking the short right here, by the way. Nobody would be wrong for taking that short. So that played out. 23 points for your trade, and if you wanted to go for that first presented fair value gap, that's 39 handles, and that's most likely going to be tagged as well. Like I said, folks, I don't think we're going long. I haven't all morning. Because that's what I learned on. There's the target. There's your target. That would have been target number 1 right there. ES has not hit its swing low yet. And just FYI, guys, I took a pre-market trade that I'm green on, and then I also took the 930 model that got me even more green. So if I'm going to take a trade, I'm going to wait for exactly what I want, because I don't want to give away profits. No. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to miss trades, and I'm going to pat myself on the back and say, way to be disciplined. If you guys are appreciating the commentary, if you're appreciating the calling of price on where we're going and what we're doing, do me a solid. Hit the like button on the video, not the chat like, not the heart. Hit the like button. That one's way more helpful on the YouTube algorithm. Thank you. Yeah, I do trade other time frames. I trade, but here all my executions are on the 1 minute or 2 minute, but I'll use the 5 minute and the 15 minute for reference on my higher time frame bias. So I really wanted it to come up into here. Now, did I make a mistake by not taking this trade when ES already hit it? When I go back and I do my analysis, the answer is probably yes. I'll be honest with you. I made it up in my mind that I wanted to see NQ hit that level, and it would have been totally fine to let ES hit that level, accept the SMT, and take the trade to the downside. The other thing that I really didn't like was that I was around 1030. I've been burned a few times at 1030. I've seen trades also work out at 1030. So when I had the idea that I wanted this level to hit for me, and we were moving at 1030, I said to myself, I'm going to wait. I can take that lesson and I can learn from it, and that's honestly a free lesson. It's a free lesson. I didn't lose money in the process. I didn't make any money, but I didn't lose money. Most importantly, because anybody can make money, but can you keep the money you make? That's the question, and that is what I have to get better at. I can make money. I know I can. But to get to that next level of prestige that I want to hit, I got to learn not to lose that money. I'm profitable, But man, I could be really profitable if I didn't lose money that I made. Thank you, Maria. Nicolo, thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks, Daniel. So right now, the next thing that we're keeping an eye on is we have our quadrants of that fair value gap. Here's quadrant 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Right now, we reached down into the first quadrant and we've retraced. Now I would be looking for the next expansion to run to get to the midpoint of that fair value gap. That's what I would look for next. When is it going to do that? I don't know. Maybe around 11 a.m. That's honestly what I'm waiting for, is looking for that move. I guarantee you though, when you go on X today and you're looking at what trades people took, I guarantee you they took the trade that we called out that I didn't take. I guarantee you that's what you're gonna see. I've been watching this, especially if they trade ICT. That's the trade they took. Now, I'm not afraid to play that breaker. Am I? I think I need to see how it gets there and when it gets there. I do like that. Here's what I like about it. I don't like that we haven't hit the 15 minute, so that makes this not a perfect setup. I like the breaker. High, low, higher, high. We break lower. We come up to it. I like that. And then I also like this mitigation block right here. This high, low, lower high, and displacement lower, creating this order block right here. So this bearish order block is above the breaker, which my hope is would hold price down right here. And then we get price moving lower. That's how I would see that. And for this one, I probably would need to wait for displacement lower before I take the trade, because I would not want to take this on the spike up into this area, because I would be concerned about it running to this 15-minute fair value gap. Sold by Duff. We're talking like higher time frame. We are extremely bullish, but we're in a retracement. The question is, how low do we go? How low do we go? Remember how all last week I mentioned to you guys that this level here was let me go to the daily. This volume imbalance right here is what I was looking at. I wanted this volume imbalance to be hit on the 4 hour. Let me go to the 4 hour. Check this out. Here's that 4 hour fair value gap that I wanted price to run up into. Look where on the initial move higher, look what it did. It came all the way up, filled this entire volume imbalance, and then retraced and closed inside of it. Now, we got the news and we moved higher from it, but this was my original target before this week opened. I wanted to play the trade up into here. Well, man, it just opened significantly higher, and then in the first 4 hours just closed right up in it. So we could come all the way back down, honestly, to this volume imbalance, which this is also a swing high right there. We could come all the way down to there and still be bullish, guys. That's the crazy thing about this market right now, especially with that announcement. We could come all the way down here. We could come all the way down to the midpoint of the new week opening gap, the previous day high, and still be bullish. But I'm interested in playing the retracement, the bearish move to the downside. hoping that that move is somewhere down here before it wants to find support and move higher. See you, John. Let me see if I can get this thing to work finally. I want to share our daily affirmation. I have it. But it's failing to load. Ah. You deserve the praise. All right, getting some movement higher. We'll see how it interacts with this level here. See how it interacts with that level. There we go. I think that's better here. All right. Finally, I got it. I finally have it. Let's go over our daily affirmation here today. Here we go. I don't need to force the market. I need to follow the plan. My strength is in my structure. My edge is my discipline. I trade with confidence, not chaos, because peace is more profitable than pressure. That's a good one. Screenshot that if you want to hang on to that. It's also on my X account. All the affirmations that I share every single day during live stream, I put them on my X account, so you can find all of those there. I put ones different every single day because, I want the one that impacts you to help you change, that gives you, just hits you in your heart. I want you to take that one. I want you to say it. I want you to believe it and speak it over yourself. All right, so here we are. I haven't taken anything yet besides the 930 model in my pre-market trade. So good touch of that breaker. We're going to still watch it. We are close to the macro time. See if it wants to reach higher. I'm going to also mark out this order block. That is a 1 minute OB. Main reason why I'm being careful is because we did hit this fair value gap, and this could be a point of a retracement and move. I'm just going to make sure and be careful. We got 1 more minute before the 15-minute candle closes, so we're going to wait at least 1 more minute to see where that goes. And honestly, I will tell you, I'm not going to lie, this 15-minute fair value gap with these relatively equal highs right here is concerning. Yeah, I think it's not going to hurt me to wait. It's not going to hurt me to wait. So that fair value gap, which is overlapping with this breaker, was violated. Okay, so that's violation 1. High of this breaker going above this order block is violation 3. So violation 1 is this fair value gap. Violation 2 would be this breaker box, which is this high to low, which is our breaker. Do I have a breaker on here? No. And then violation 3 would be this right here, the order block high. That's the top of the order block. So really what we're looking for is it needs to stay towards the midpoint. Honestly, I don't want it to really go any higher than this. If I'm going to consider taking a short, I can't see it go deeper into this. I don't want that. If it's going to go deeper into this, I'm probably going to wait until we get up to here. Pablo, my problem is I don't have a real plan. I have a few strategies, but I don't feel confident in them. And then price action is like many strategies in itself, so I feel kind of lost. Totally. You got to pick one and focus on that one. Dig deep into that 1 or 2 strategies. That's it. You can't be profitable with 10 different pieces put together from different people. Any tips on how I become a better trader? I've been training for a little while, but I still learn. Like I just started yesterday, and I'm willing to take any new information. I will tell you that the biggest problem sold by Duff is most people take in too much information. You need to find the right information, and then you need to stick with that information. I don't like trading. I don't have any indicators on here. It's all based on price action. And if you're going to learn from somebody, in my opinion, whether it's me or somebody else, I don't care. It needs to be somebody that's a price action trader. There's more value in that than anything else. But once you find that, then you need to stick to the process of learning, make it not about money, go back to a demo account, prove to yourself that you can take a specific model multiple times and make money. And then you go to an eval account and you start learning that way. Pablo, ICT is what I teach. So everything that you are seeing me and talking about is based on ICT's concepts. He's a trader on YouTube. He's very long-winded. His videos are hours long typically. Some of them are very concise, but very few of them. So I basically have gone through all of his content, not the recent stuff, but most of his content, and then I, through that, became profitable and am now sharing that with others. I like this rejection. I'm not counting this as a displacement yet. Indicators are a waste of time. Some people are profitable with them, so I can't knock them. But they're delayed indicators. So these indicators tell you what happened, not what's happening. We want to look and take trades based on what's happening, not what has already happened. I really wanted to go short here. This is really grabbing my attention at the 15-minute fair value gap, and we kept pushing higher. We did get a little bit of a retracement, but we have not broken back down below this breaker. For me to go short, I would need to see this, tag the breaker again, respect it, and then take that trade lower. But if we can't get below it, I'm not going to take the trade. SMC is pretty similar. You're just getting regurgitated content from many different people. I don't do a first presented 5-minute fair value gap. We're respecting the first presented fair value gap still, right here. If we're going to see lower prices, we need to get back below this breaker here. This breaker. We need to see, and then come back up, and for me to tag that or come into a fair value gap that's right below it. Either one's fine. See this fair value gap? This fair value gap was the one overlapping with the breaker. See how the bodies are staying on the upper half of that fair value gap? That's a bullish signature in price. That's why I want to see it fail and run below it and then come back up and touch it, and then that would be enough for me to go short. Doesn't mean it's a guaranteed trade, but I'm willing to put risk on the table at that point. ICT is a person. His name is Michael Huddleston. He had a screen name of ICT Concepts, or Inner Circle Trader, ICT, and he taught those concepts. And they have been extremely popular to where they've not just turned from a strategy or a model, but they've turned into a language of interpreting the market. Before I came across ICT, I couldn't tell you what the market was going to do. I couldn't tell you why it was going higher. I couldn't tell you why it was going lower. Why did it reverse here? Why did it reverse there? ICT's concepts gave me a language to interpret the market with what I'm seeing. And then it gave me confidence to actually start putting together a model within that framework. And so I trade the breaker and inversion models. Those are my models, and those are within the ecosystem of ICT concepts, basically. See how we stayed above the breaker there and now we pushed higher? My whole idea of wanting to take this breaker is now becoming, what would you call it? It's becoming more unlikely. He's been trading for 10 years. I respect his profitability for sure. I'm not a huge fan of him personally. I can't handle the ego stuff. And I know a lot of it's for show, a lot of it's for online. I get that. It's not my style. I find myself watching his stuff every once in a while though, because I want to see what crazy thing he's going to do next. All right, so if we inverse this right here, I'm probably going to take this trade. But it would need to do it in one candle, and it would need to do it right now. All right, I'm gonna take a stab at this. It could go right back up, but I'm hoping it drops right here. If it closes back above this fair value gap that I marked out, then I'm closing the trade. I'm not willing to let it go all the way up there. And it looks like it's going to violate it right now. So I'm going to close this if it does. Oh my gosh. It did not close above it. Your first target, if this continues to move, would be the midpoint of this price leg higher, which is right here sitting at 20,753. this trade would technically, your stop should be moved to break even as soon as we run this low right there. All right, so right there is stop is to break even, and we could get stopped out on this, and I'm okay, but I have to protect a position because we swept that low. Because what does price do? It sweeps liquidity, and then it can reverse. That's why we move our stop to break even, is to protect a reversal after it sweeps that low. You could have sold if you wanted. You could sell, but I'm looking for that move lower, right? That's what we're looking for. So I'm hoping that we get this move all the way down here to 20,690. I would love that. But I will, if we don't get past this will be my other target here. So we got 3 targets. Midpoint, the last fair value gap, and the swing low down here. Those are the 3 targets. If we get a resistance here, I might close the trade. If we get resistance here, I might close the trade. If we don't go any lower, it's going to hit my stop loss at break even. I don't like that open of that new candle, but we'll see where it goes. All right, that's 10 a.m. Let's hope that's not the low and we get another lower candle, because it could reverse right here. That would not be fun. If we close green, I may close the trade if it doesn't stop me out. If we close green, okay, close. I'm going to close the trade because we closed green on the micros. We closed here. I decided to close it. We could literally come back up to this level here where my stop loss is and then still roll over. We have another breaker right here. So we got 20 points out of that. That's fine. 20 point win. I'm happy. Adding to the total profit for the day. But we got another breaker right there. So we had that breaker that we already marked out. We have this breaker right here. I just want to be careful because the main reason is this 15-minute fair value gap, and it may just want to pump. Oh, look at that reaction. Look at that. That is a beautiful candle. It would have stopped me out. I would have been stopped out. So I'm glad I closed the trade. Would have been stopped out. But that's a beautiful reaction if it closes red. It all depends on how it closes. I love the reaction mid candle, but if it closes green, it meant nothing. Pablo, I can't. Did some guy come up with that? Who came up with that? I think there's a guy on YouTube that came up with it, right? The time frame we're on right now is the 1 minute time frame. So it closed green. So that mid candle reaction is irrelevant. This candle, how this candle closed, is the reason why I got out. We swept the low, but didn't close, that body didn't close below this body. Okay. Candle closed right here. Made a lower low. I want that. Closed inside this candles. I didn't like that. That was the main reason why I considered getting out, knowing that we have the 15-minute fair value gap up here. But we still profited on that trade. Rob Smith. Yeah, no, I'm not long, Dr. Witt. All right, well, if Trump's done, let's see what happens with the market. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know who Rob Smith is. I don't know it apparently. This is the inversion we went short on. This inversion, if it's closed above, can be used as an inverse or a reclaimed fair value gap. It's a fair value gap. We get above that fair value gap again, find support inside that, and it moves higher. That's how I would treat it. You also have a breaker right here for a bullish move. But either way, folks, I'm going to be done on the day. I will be back here tomorrow. I'll be back here tomorrow morning. I will be back here tomorrow morning for another live stream if you guys want to join. If you guys are using any prop firm accounts, consider using the code DTJ. I greatly appreciate that. You can find all that information on the screen. Other than that, guys, I'm going to call it quits. I'm going to be disciplined. I took one trade on screen. We took the 930 model, and I had a pre-market trade. So 3 for 3 today. Going to be disciplined and walk away green and come back on a new day tomorrow and be disciplined again. So God bless, guys. Stay safe, and we will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.